Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of Keepers of Humanity, Constellating Wisdom from the Stars to the Earth. I'm Jocelyn Starfeather. I'm delighted to be your host for this gathering and so excited to have you all here again for day 2 for our live interviews. And let me check a couple of things here. Okay, let me bring Daryl over. Welcome, Daryl. Here we go. And so I am delighted to be here with Darryl D'Souza today. Hi, Daryl. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. How are you today?
Hello, good evening. Namaste, Jocelyn.
Wonderful to be with you, Daryl. Thank you so much for being part of Keepers of Humanity. I'm so looking forward to your interview here. All right, so I'm gonna go live on YouTube, and while I'm doing that, everybody please go ahead and put your name and location into the chat. We would love to know who's on and where you are zooming in from today. And I will make sure we are live on YouTube as we get started here. That'll take just another minute, and then we will begin. Okay, let's see. There we go. All right, we are live on YouTube as well. Fantastic. So welcome everybody over on YouTube. And if you're listening from YouTube, please put your name and location into the chat and the comments as well. And if you're listening later as a recording, please do the same. We would love to hear from you. So welcome to those on Zoom here. Welcome Jane in the North Georgia mountains. And welcome, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but welcome, welcome. And welcome Shamira in Vancouver. Welcome Meredith, Victoria. Hi, great to see you, Victoria, in Georgia. And welcome Angela in Wisconsin, and many more joining, I know. So hi, everybody. So glad to be here with you. Now, Daryl, let me introduce you to everyone as we begin. And Daryl, you have such an amazing story. I'm so excited for people to learn more about your journey and all the wisdom that you are sharing now. So Darryl D'Souza is an inspiration to millions across the globe due to his transformation from 14 years of chronic illness to a state of perfect health within 1 year of using integrative natural medicine and therapies. His resultant book, Become Healthy or Extinct, is now read in close to 200 countries. Daryl has been a pioneer in integrative natural medicine and therapies, having curated and convened 9 mind, body, and spirit healing conferences so far. He was the secretary of the World United Doctors and Healers Association for 5 years and is well known for his workshops, webinars, conferences, and retreats on health, food, farming, and the environment. Daryl is an industrial engineer, author, healer, therapist, educator, organic farmer, environmentalist, earth keeper, TEDx speaker, founder of the Integrative Medicine and Health Committee of India, founder of Earth Keepers Connect, and so much more. Daryl, you're doing so much amazing work. And Daryl is also an esteemed speaker at the World Parliaments on Spirituality. And so, Daryl, I know you're here today to speak with us about the making of a new earth. And I just want to say, we had one interview previously, and I was really astounded by our conversation then, because you're not only sharing about our health and how we can heal ourselves through food and natural, integrative approaches, but also you are doing these incredible projects on the land in India and working with, major international organizations. So it's amazing how you have all the time and energy to do all of this. I'm really, it's so wonderful. Thank you, Daryl, for all that you're doing.
Thank you, Jocelyn. It's so wonderful to be here on Keepers of Humanity. Thank you for having me here. And good evening, good morning to all our viewers, everybody who's online here today.
Yes.
And we look forward to your maybe questions later. Yes.
Yes, wonderful. And yeah, definitely, we will welcome audience questions when we get a little bit later in the interview. So can you tell us a little bit more about what brought you into the kind of work that you are doing now?
Yes, Jocelyn, yeah, from being an industrial engineer, I did that for about 17 years. But it was right when I was studying for my industrial engineering in Pune, in India, where I was, you know, hale and hearty, a youngster, full-blooded break dancer and a biker and all of that. And yeah, in the middle of that, suddenly, I got blown, very serious pneumonia, coughing blood, could not breathe, and that was a shock. And in fact, the doctors had to come in the middle of the night and pump me with steroids so that I would, survive that night. And then, of course, it was, I think, 20 days of antibiotics to reverse that pneumonia. And well, that happened from my own choice of feeling like I would like to sleep on the floor. And I did that for 3 months, with a thin sleeping bag. It's not that I didn't have money for a bed or something, but I just like the idea. And though my mother in Mumbai, when she heard about it, she warned me that, uh, the chill from the earth is going to get into your bones. And being a, science that comes from wisdom, right? And me being a scientific bent of mind, saying that, no, mom, when I zip myself into the sleeping bag, even at that was one of Pune's coldest winters. It was about 6 degrees, not freezing, but quite cold. And I said, mom, I don't have a problem, because when I zip up in my sleeping bag in 5 minutes, it's all warm, so nothing happening here. But yeah, it took its toll in 3 months, and that's how I got sick. And sometimes I give this example, we don't fall sick for no reason. There is something very seriously wrong that we do to ourselves to become unhealthy. So that happened. And then, of course, I completed my engineering. And again, a few years later, when some of my engineering friends, six of us, we took out, we had started working. And after about 2 years in working life, we decided we want to meet, have a break. So we all got our bikes, and six of us came down to my native place. I used to live in Mumbai at that time. We came down to Goa, and in the middle of the rains, I took them into the forest, and I was, dared them to drink mountain water. And five of them, they got really scared. They didn't touch it, but I went ahead and did that. Another mistake, and I was drinking that water for a couple of days because I filled it in bottles, and I got a serious infection, intestinal infection of amoebiasis. And well, in 2 3 days, I was having loose motions and blood in my stools. And then again, I had to go to allopathy, and that is how my digestive disorders started. And I was working as a project engineer, so quite often traveling the countryside, not in the main head office, drinking sometimes tap water, eating spicy food. So my gut never got cured, and it went from bad to worse. And then within a few years, I was suffering from first degree piles and second degree piles and third degree piles. I had to be operated when I was just 35 years old. Uh, and it didn't stop at that. I started getting intestinal, fungal infection in my intestine called candidiasis. And that followed a few years later with skin allergies all over my body. And I had to take allergy suppressant tablets twice a day, which would make me very drowsy, and I could not work. I had to give up work. In fact, for most of the time, I couldn't even wear clothes because, the clothes would be itching me, the chair would be itching, my shoes would itch me. So I went through this for about 14 years of very serious suffering. But of course, every time, for the first 3 years, I tried allopathy, and that didn't work. Then I tried Ayurveda for 3 years, that didn't work. Then I tried homeopathy for 3 years, that didn't work. And then, finally, I went into energy medicine, into Reiki, pranic healing. And that also, I used to spend 1.5 hours in the morning, 32 hand positions in Reiki, and the same thing in the evening. And I was really shocked that it was not working. Then finally I started, cursing the universe and God, and that nothing in the world is working for me. And I thought it was almost the end of my life because I was just sitting at home in Bermuda shorts on a soft, mattress. I couldn't do anything else. But then I came across a naturopath in Mumbai where I was staying, and just through simple herbal detoxes, that was detoxifying my blood and pressing acupressure points all over my hands to rejuvenate my organs that had got toxic blood from the infections and all that I was carrying. Within 1 week I could see there was a little bit of remission, so I had hope, and I continued doing all of those practices, and within 6 months my allergies went away. And then I still had digestive disorders, but then I went deep into nutrition, and doing a lot of experiments, checking things with naturopaths and all of that. And that's how within 1 year I was able to cure those digestive issues as well. And that was 2005. I remember April, May of 2005. And I was so shocked that natural systems of medicine, if you integrate them well, diet, nutrition, herbs, acupressure, and all that, then they can do miracles. And I went deep and back to the same therapist, learned the system deeply, and that's when I started treating people on the weekends. And that's how now it's been almost 20 years that I practice and I teach integrative natural medicine since 2005. Um, then, after about 5 years of practice with very sick patients, because ordinary patients wouldn't come to me. We only had people who tried Ayurveda, homeopathy, everything that I did, and even more perhaps. And then they would land up. So I got very good experience treating and reversing illnesses. That's when I wrote my book. And, after the book, I started doing workshops all across this country. And then somewhere in 2015, I decided to become an organic farmer because of the connection between food and health. And then a lot of people who were connected with me, my patients, people who were following the book, I took them along with me. We had these different groups in India. And as I started upgrading my experience and skills, I started taking them along as well. So teaching them organic farming, a small scale farming. And once you are in farming, then of course it comes down to the land and the soil and the quality of water, air, sunlight. And so then we started worrying about the environment and all of that. And so that's my journey into environmentalism. And out of that, creating these different groups on diet and nutrition, on organic farming, integrative natural medicine, uh, and all of that. So from that, an event started happening called the New Earth Summit. Uh, the summit, solutions to our problems in health, food, farming, and environment, and that started in 2019, and we've been doing it every year. There are 10 topics on wellness of mind, body, spirit, 10 topics on food farming, 10 topics on environment. And we've had experts who have implemented solutions at a small scale. We try to showcase them and take them to a larger audience. So every year we've had amazing speakers and scientists and farmers and engineers who have presented on the New Earth Summit. And that's where we are now after 5 years, sharing this with the common people. So common people can also look, learn, adopt greener technologies, and bring this healing to themselves and to the Mother Earth.
Amazing. What a journey, truly. And it's so interesting, for you to have gone from being so scientific minded, and engineering minded into this whole holistic realm of things. And I'm curious, is there any point on that journey where you might have taken a different path?
Yes, in fact, it was somewhere in the year 2000 where I thought of, because it was the trend in India, people wanted to go abroad. They either wanted to go to USA. My sister was already in USA and she was calling me to have a better life there. Then in my in my work experience, I had been 2 years in Dubai and 1.5 year in Qatar. So some friends were calling me that Dubai is amazing automatic life, and I decided against those two places, and I decided to go to Australia. And I did this lot of paperwork and all that for almost 2 years through the Australian embassy and all of that, and finally I got a permanent residency visa, which was open for 5 years in 2005. So, as per the norm, I had to make a first entry, and I went there for a whole week. I did the Blue Mountain tour. I stayed at a friend's place, and my work life was already set up with a group of consultants who were ready, waiting for me to join them in Australia as well as New Zealand. And well, after that trip, I came back to India, and that's when I, started some deeper energy started working within me. And I decided that no, I don't want to leave this land, and I want to change my life, and I don't want to be an industrial engineer anymore. All of this industrialization, mechanization, teaching people how to turn raw natural materials into, finished goods of all sorts. And I felt it was, it was kind of taking away non-renewable resources from Mother Earth, and putting them in all toxic forms and putting it out. So this deeper thing started happening within me, and I said, no, I will go for I'll take an organic route, and I would rather work in health and farming and all of that than go. So that period of 2000, yeah, I say that was a different life, that I said no to the industrialization and, the easy job and networking across the world and all that.
Mhm.
And I came back to my roots. And I felt, I said, there's something very deep going to happen in the world soon in terms of, people realizing that we are going in the wrong direction, and we need to, come to a more natural, organic path if we want a future for ourselves and our children and this planet. So, yeah, that was a turning point in my life.
Yes, beautiful. Quite a choice to make, right? And clearly, I think you.
And I would like to share something else also that kind of I just remembered that inspired me. I call it my first awakening. After that first year that I got pneumonia, and that was when I was 20 years old in 1990. Just after I recovered, a year later, I had kind of a spiritual awakening with an expansion of energy somewhere through my solar plexus and all through my body. And I my whole awareness changed in 1.5 days, and it just happened automatically. I was not doing any breathing techniques, no yoga. I didn't care for the word spiritual. Guru means, after the word guru, I used to give a few, curses. So everything changed, and I my energy started connecting more with people, with the plants, with the animals, all of that. And for about a month and a half, I started seeing visions of the future and me. I was having these deep discussions and queries with some groups of people in these visions that I couldn't figure out, but they were more like groups of people or councils. And I was talking about this, organic life and purifying the air, the water. And there's something really wrong with, God is one, and why do people have so many religions and they're fighting against each other? So that troubled me for a month and a half. And I felt that, I need to do something about this. But I was in the middle of engineering and I couldn't figure out what. I said, no, the logical thing is I got to get a degree, I got to get a job, then that job is going to make me some money. After some saving of money, I'll be worthy of having a wife. Then I'm going to have some kids. So I went the natural route, you see, and I rejected all those visions. Uh, and and it's sometime in that 2000 to 2005 where I said, hey, those thoughts and those ideas started coming back. And that kind of also inspired me that, no, I want to take that organic, natural route that I saw sometime in the past, that maybe I'm made for that kind of work. That is my, soul calling. And that's how I came, into all of this.
Yes, amazing, amazing. Could you tell us about some of the projects that you're working on right now?
Yes, after the 5 years of the New Earth Summit, what we have been teaching is people. So, at a small scale, people take all of these sciences on health or farming or cleaning up your water system or rainwater harvesting, organic farming, right? Or making natural body products, and they do it at a small scale. And that movement is going on well. And those few number of people, I don't know, it's not even 10% of people on the planet who do this in their own capacity, you see. And but the reality was state policy. The majority, the 90% of people around us, they are just making a lot of commercial choices which are contributing to widespread sickness across the planet and also environmental destruction. So, how does state policy change? You know, and that's when we started, trying to make some groups and committees from the people who had presented the green sciences in health, food, farming, environment on the New Earth Summit. So that project is going on now, and it's been in the making since 2 years. We have a video on it that first came out as a 2.5 hour video. It's called "Making New Earth," and yes, that's the topic, main thing that I wanted to share today. And after putting it out there about a year back, a lot of people watched it and were very inspired, and they started giving us feedback of, asking deeper questions and also suggesting some solutions, some aspects of the solution. So we, we had about 90 edits, 90, and we put that into the video, and now it's a 4 hour video, and it explains, what has gone wrong with our system since the last 700-800 years, and how it's become a very centralized, system that is creating a lot of destruction in health and in the environment and all of that. And so that's the first part of the video, which is 2 hours, because we found it necessary to help people understand something very important now in the world today, as COVID has come out, and a lot of disclosures happening, and the forces behind these groups and certain secret societies and all of that are happening. In this video, we have chose to we know about all of that because we are very well researched people from across India and some across the world as well. But for the common man, we felt that what we needed to showcase is something more important, because whatever happens in, for example, your locality or my locality in a village or a state or a city, it happens through the policy. So there is a change from a, to a destructive policy to a more capitalist policy to something very dominating, controlling, a police state. It all happens through legislation and policy. So before that are the mechanics and the science and all of that. So, if we have some time, then I would like to show a few slides of this, that will inspire people also to watch the video. And maybe I can articulate a little more about making new earth and how it's all of this, sickness and environmental destruction that we see from the video. It will become apparent that people have been used, people have been manipulated, and all of this has happened. So the only way to get out of it is people have to come out of those control systems, and we have to have from the centralized system into a more decentralized system that is by the people, for the people, local abundance and all of that. Uh,
Yes, yes,
so if
yes.
I could show a few
Really, really
slides, then that will make it very clear.
Yeah, definitely. And this ties right into your free gift because I know your free gift is the Making New Earth Project video. So I'll go ahead and put that in the chat here too, so people can see how this all ties together. But yes, please share slides. You are welcome to share them whenever you're ready.
Right. So I'll have that presentation. I'll just quickly go through some of the slides. Okay, maybe it's going to take just 10 or 12 minutes. And okay, here it is. Let me know if the slide comes up.
Yes, the screen share is working, and yes, there it is. I see the slide now. Sustainable Development Goals.
Yes, so this is where we are in the world with these 14, 17 sustainable development goals. But they were never there before. They have happened over these 700 years. And these are scenes that we are very familiar with. But before that period of time, when you do a deep analysis, when there were indigenous communities across the globe, they were all green and they were all self-sufficient. And it's only after what was called, the first industrial revolution, where we had mainly merchants who went across different territories. Now, and were marketing things from one territory to another. And this is where I say, the whole science of manipulative marketing, took birth on this planet. Because what can you sell to a to a community that is already self-sufficient? Well, so for all this trading and all of these machines and traveling and different modes of transport and digging the earth and taking out the all of the oil and petrol and diesel. So all of the removal of non-renewable resources of the planet. And at the same time, what happened is that in the name of innovation and something new, the alternate products of whether it was our food products or our body products all started happening. Now, the simple, tomatoes are an illustration of how locally your organic farmer in your locality, they supply you regularly. But when somebody else convinces you to buy canned tomatoes from anywhere in the world, then you stop buying local tomatoes and a transfer of wealth starts happening to other places across the world and to people who have made these companies and to big capitalists and transnational corporations. So this is how local abundance slowly starts getting sucked away from the planet. And this is what we are, taught in universities in the name of innovation. So, and now we see, what kind of education is that which creates worldwide sickness and environmental destruction. So this is what we are, most of us live in now, and all that comes up from the earth is coming at the cost of all of these holes. So too much of travel also for our daily needs, whether it's our work or our food miles, really huge food miles, instead of just taking food locally. That's the reason I left Mumbai and came to Goa, because now I get food straight from my garden. And this is what we are all struggling with in different cities. And all of this started by breaking natural law. That was free flowing rivers. They were stopped and banked and dammed. And from there, piping goes to a city, and then you have a control zone. The people who create that city, because people actually don't go where the money flows, they go where the water was made to flow. And so your downstream rivers get choked up, the villages that live downstream, the economy dries up. And finally, you have people, out of employment, and then they go to the cities doing all the menial jobs of the sweeper, of the, driver, bus driver, the taxi driver, the painter, and whatnot. So overall, this is how this, whole pyramid started building over the last 1,000 years. And this is the resultant where what we live in right now, where our water is toxic, our air is toxic, toxic food, fake medicine, non-curated medicines, toxic body products, and all this list that you can see on the right hand side. And we are living like, rats in the rat race. And one of the biggest things is this our food supply chain. Once you watch this video, you will understand that the biggest damage to the planet in terms of digging holes in the earth, pollution, garbage, sickness, the wastage of non renewable resources, all of it comes from just getting food to a person's mouth. And so we have devised some systems over there where we are trying to reduce the food miles. And so we come to these new spaces that we are creating, whether it's a greenfield project or trying to, make a existing village more self-sufficient so that people and food and all they need is much closer by. So this is just an illustration of an example of all our Earthkeeper friends on the summit who have been bringing out all of these solutions and their skills to create food, to create homes, to create energy systems, to create fabric, clothing, everything that you need in life. And this is what we have been putting on the New Earth Summit every year. And there is even a design of a holistic living community where you don't need much of vehicles over here. Your workplace is just a 10 or 15-minute walking distance. Your entertainment, your groceries, your education system, your manufacturing systems. So this is how we are giving an extended life, to this entire planet and all the people. Also, some amazing, water systems that we have shared, and and local energy systems. So we are all moving into a decentralized system where we are creating local water abundance, electricity, and natural fuel out of biogas and compressed natural gas. And finally, getting to a place where we can make our own healthy food locally. We can have our natural medicine system back from a decentralized medicine system, which is quite toxic and damaging to, I mean, from a centralized one to a decentralized system. That's also what we have designed. And in fact, this is my own wellness center in Goa, where you can see we are doing disease reversal programs. We had an organic farm, meditation center, movie center, youth center, organic market. So this is what we're trying to create. And through the wellness centers, they're becoming education centers as well and open school learning systems. And through these, we teach, the science. Like, for example, this picture is very informative. And from the pictures itself, you can see there are two different ways of getting what you want. One is following natural law and what Mother Earth gives us, and the other way is destroying all of it. So, do visit the New Earth Summit where you can see all of this, and that's how we achieve all of these, results with clean air, clean water, and these are all locally made because only local systems and products and services are what you can trust because your own community makes them. So we're doing this through all of these committees, and these committees we are setting up in every state in this country. And in fact, this can be done in any country across the world. Um, there are more details about this in the bigger video, and also how these committees work with the existing system, and also if any of our projects and all don't get approved by the current system, government departments, then the alternatives of how we can go ahead and do that. And many of our solutions are there on our website, thenewearthsummit.com. I welcome everybody to download those links. They are Word documents, so you can also collaborate with us, take these solutions, try and implement them in your areas, and also, bring us also some good ideas. So it's a space for collaboration and, making this whole project. We're trying to make pockets of new earth everywhere. So a new education system too, because of all the destructive education that we've had earlier. And there is a personal audit also for people This is a one-day exercise for, I think, everybody on the planet needs to do this. It's explained more in the video. Is this thing natural and good for my health? Whatever we use, whether it's a toothbrush or your car or even your job, these three questions: where does the money go? And those three questions help us pull out our time, energy, and participation from the toxic system and bring it into our own decentralized, non-toxic, system that heals us and the planet as well. So I would just like to illustrate in two slides here of how all of this happened. So it's wrong science of breaking natural law and creating those dams, and then so it's fake science with fake education or destructive education. Then of course the systems bring out all this output and the 17 sustainable development goals, and then when people are put in systems, they will behave as the system controls them. So unfortunately, yes, we are the people driving those cars and creating the pollution, but you don't need to drive that car to get to work or to get to anywhere in the alternative new system that we can design. So similarly, the only solution is, reversing this thing and putting in the right science. Of course, not only the New Earth Summit, there are sources all across the world with the right green technologies. And then this right education system, we have a couple of websites up, then we plan to take them into TV channels. We already have a mobile app up and we need to expand it, and then we can take further physical universities. So then taking these through the people's committees, these committees are made by us and our domain experts. We nominate the people to the committees, and when the committees work and implement these green solutions, then you really have proper systems, proper living ecosystems that are good for our health and good for the planet. So this is what we look forward to: an amazing life, amazing community life, local abundance, and all of that. And somewhere, yeah, it explains a little bit also which are the jobs going out and which are the jobs coming in. So to get your right, skill sets in your life. And finally, the elections are going on in India right now. So we found it necessary for the people to give their manifesto to the politicians because, hey, this is the kind of systems and these are the things that we want in life and not your fake promises. So some more information also on what at this point in time in on the planet, where can you put your time, energy, since the form of finance is changing, all of that. So some information on that as well. So you can get all of this through our website, earthkeepersconnect.org, or on the New Earth Summit, and on our Telegram and Facebook page as well. So that's what I wanted to share. Yeah, it was a big kind of video for us. I just, kind of crunched it down, but I put in some very pertinent points, and I hope people take the time to watch it. It's so open, collaborative platform, and in fact, I'm going to be doing. We are working to bring out the next edition of this in the next 15 days. So I would really urge people, wherever you are in the world, have a good look at it and take whatever you can, implement it there, bring us your ideas, put them on the groups or in that document, and let's make these pieces of new earth. Uh, that's how it's going to happen. It happens in pockets. Of course, people are already doing it in many places. There are eco villages that are being set up in India by in at least a dozen places. Some people may know Auroville, that's been there for last 40 years or more. But with these new green, very collaborative sciences and consciousness of people, these are happening, and I know they're happening in other places in the world as well. So we offer our platform for people to showcase their work and exchange.
Hear me? Oh, okay. Can you hear me, Daryl? It cut out for a minute there.
Yes, I got paused for a bit, but yes, I'm done.
Wow, I can't say thank you enough for all of this. And it's really powerful. I love that you said this all started by going against natural law. And it is absolutely true. It is absolutely true. And we've been doing that for really thousands of years and very intensively for hundreds of years here in in our human collective. And so this recognition that we have fallen out of that balance, out of that harmonic living that we can have when we're in natural law, and then that you're implementing these ways to come back into balance with that. It's so powerful. And this, creating pockets of the new earth all around the world. I know I'm aware certainly of certain hotspots. I know there are a lot of eco villages being created in Costa Rica. There are eco villages being created in Asheville, North Carolina, that I'm familiar with. So it's really amazing to see how this is happening in different places around the world. And I really, for those who are called to this, I invite you to get connected in with those, wherever that might be, that calls to you, that, that these kinds of new communities are being set up. And when, I do feel there's going to be some kind of breakdown of our infrastructure, of our Wi-Fi, electric system, whatever it might be. And so to be connected with these kinds of communities is going to be crucial whenever that.
Right.
I don't know how you feel about that. that
Yes, of course. And I just want to share a couple of things from the direction that we are going in. But first, on natural law, to make it more simple for people. Now, natural law is broken. So there are different law systems. Natural law is here. What does natural law mean? Uh, it's not something that is taught newly. If you read the Jesus and the Essenes, or the Essene Gospel of Peace, this is like 2,000 years back. Over there in 2-3 of the chapters, it says that respect the angel of earth, the angel of water, the angel of fire, the angel of air, and the angel of space, and do not pollute them. And you can partake of them in their purity and leave them in their purity when you go. But here, so we are taking in the air, and because of the industrial revolution, we put it in engines, and then we are pumping out something that was never there on the planet. So you have changed the air element, you have changed the water, you have changed the earth element. You've created so much pollution that none of us are getting pure sunlight anymore, right? And the space element with all of this Wi-Fi and all of that. So polluting and all of these natural five elements, which were called the angels of God. And that whole system of energy flow is so important because it's plants. For example, plants will take the earth element. How do they make their body? Plants, they take the earth element, they take the water element, the fire is the sunlight element, the air with all the different oxygen, carbon dioxide, the space element. You know, you can't have a plant grow in the middle of a rock. You do need space. So it's the plants who take all these five angels of God, put them into their body, and then they are the only producers of food on this planet. And all vegetarian animals and vegetarian human beings will eat them, and then non-veg animals will eat or non-vegetarians will eat the vegetarians. So if I say plants are the biggest visible creator of hand of creator on the planet, who can even dispute that scientifically? Our entire human bodies are created by plants, and it's another discussion from where our soul comes. That's another topic of the higher dimensions. So here we are talking of science that was always known, okay, and we are trying to come back to that. So natural law is here, and then below that is common law. In common law courts across the world, it is allowed. In natural law, you cannot pollute any of the five elements, and this is what earth keepers and our communities are doing. Whatever we are doing, we are trying to create, and it's already been done. Look at an amazing community called Damanhur. Damanhur.org at the outskirts of Milan. If anybody goes to the website, you see it, you think you're in heaven. It's such a natural, organic, amazing community. So it's a misconception that if you're going natural, you're going to have less. No, it's more of abundance, more of health, more of free time, more of creativity, more of artistry, music, dance, and this is what this entire movement is also calling for. I heard on the first day. Yeah, so we are definitely going in that direction. And then below common law is maritime law, what is operating now. So this whole shift in consciousness that's happening on the planet now, for me, it's easier to embody if you will take out your time and energy and your resources and your money from the toxic control system and start investing it in your decentralized system. Because once you're on the land, then everything that is from creator starts working with you. Creator starts talking to you through the soil, through the water, through the trees, through the animals. And many people have not realized that when these capitalists, they got us off the land and put us in those cities, then they started giving us a new meaning of God. Hey, this is God, that is God, this is the meaning of life, this is science, this is tech, this is progress. And we are actually living, many spiritual people know we are living in a simulation. And that's the simulation of all artificial, control things for the benefit of a few and to a disadvantage for the rest. I mean, 95% of humanity and whole of Mother Earth to the disadvantage. So, human consciousness is now realizing and stepping out of these even bad law systems and coming on to, higher and more ethical, more collaborative, more intuitive, more creative, more natural way of living. So, yeah, our community is trying to do our best, and we hope to meet many people through this platform and other places too, who are rising with this kind of consciousness and having these ideas and these plans, this future, for all of us. And I would like to end this part by saying one of my quotes: "The only people who can tell the future are the ones who are making it themselves."
Hmm.
And if all of the people, most of the people in the world, 90% of the people in the world, if you are thinking that these are the end times because they are written in some books and all of that, please do your research. Many of our holy books and all, they have been altered and these things have been inserted. These guys have been trying to end the world since a long time. I hope you remember, the apocalypse, Mayan calendar, 2012. Then one red planet, Herodotus, some Hercolobus was supposed to collide with Earth in 2018. Okay, they've tried this constant programming of humanity. It's the end of the time, end of the world. Give up, you guys. Lay down, die. All of that. This
1999 as
is
well was going to be the end of the world
sorry.
when all the computers turned over to the year 2000, right? Everything was
Yes, yes, that
everything was
Y2K
gone.
also. So any small excuse they get, they are just trying to give us this stupid con that, guys give up, there's no point, this. And now they come up with that biggest nonsense, which is the fourth industrial revolution and all of that. And please tell them, guys, that, the last three have been disastrous itself. Now you jokers can stop your nonsense and listen to us and the amazing ways in which we are, doing our work and building a new earth. So yeah, that's all on the cards now. So we definitely are going to create. We are creating, and every person who steps into, I call it the way or the peaceful warrior. Even for some time, I was, with this protest and doing, this thing and that thing against. But now you save every bit of your energy and your 1 to 10 seconds, whatever, and you put it into making the new system. So without fighting this, you are going to go into this. But of course, that's for the masses and some of the scientists like us who are having the science. We go and challenge, existence of this virus, that virus, of already the Nipah virus in India. We proved it to be non-existent under the Indian Evidence Act. Okay, they tried to start a second pandemic here in India mid-September. We used Indian law, and nobody in the Indian government or the entire scientists in this country could prove. They did that outbreak for the fourth time, for 4 years in a row. So after practicing three times, they failed in the fourth attempt because the scientists who are working with us, who are working with natural medicine and all of that. I've been working with microbes, my microbes for 17 years and then another, 18 years. So I've got like 34 years of microbes experience. Can't be fooled with, non-existing germs and that they, create sickness. So, so that part of the work is there for those people who are, great scientists in health, in farming, in electromagnetic radiation, And yeah, we are born for that. We do that. But the rest of the people, you do not need to sweat out. You follow your heart, you follow your mind, and connect with the community that is giving you good vibes and doing green things for the planet.
Beautiful, beautiful. And such a huge part of this is the mindset shift. It feels like this is a whole new level of awakening that's happening right now. Really awakening to the fact that these, what the governments and the corporations are wanting is not what we really need. It is not what's healthy, and that there is a different way to choose. So just thank you so much for the straight talk and for bringing us that
You're,
that
you're most
perspective.
welcome. And just one last piece, because I'm not into politics. I'm into good governance of people and resources. So what's happened on the planet now? Many people think, oh, they're doing it for the control and they're doing it for power. Well, these corporations who have set up most of our systems, they're printing money. They have all the money in the world, and they have all the power. Their problem is that we have woken up. We have understood. We are awakening. We have realized that it's a corrupt system, and we are trying to correct all the corruptness in the system. That is their biggest problem. That's why they are doing all of these vaccines and whatnot to downsize the population and all of that. Bring lockdowns. If it was not, if the vaccines didn't work and that virus didn't work, now there's war that is spreading all across the place. So that is the main thing. We have to be at it. We have to bring down the destructive systems. The systems don't work for us, and we have to be the ones that are going to make the change. And let's get to it.
Yes, yes, let's do that. I wholeheartedly agree with you on this. It's really, it's so important for us to understand what's going on. Now, so can people visit your place in Goa, your center in Goa? What would you say about that if somebody feels interested in
Yes,
coming?
unfortunately, I had to shut my center down in the middle of COVID because I had two choices. Am I going to run my center and that all these operations with the government saying don't do this, don't do that, and all these compromises,
Mhm.
or but at that time I decided that no, these restrictions are unreasonable. They are fake. It's fake science. We are being conned into this. Slowly, a shutdown of wellness centers and in the entire medicine system is going to happen through this, World Health Organization and all of that. Integrative medicine. We have already the Integrative Medicine and Healthcare Committee of India, and it's already there in few states in Goa, Bihar, Kerala, and we have put out a video, WHO Crimes Against Humanity. So that exposes all the fake science, and how integrative medicine would have handled this entire thing and saved people's lives. So uh, so yeah, now what we are doing is that we are setting up the committees in our state and trying to set them up in other states also, so people are enabled and can do the right kind of work, which changes policies. So the video explains how the committees work to change state policy, because unless that changes, the system can't change.
Yeah. Okay. And I want to invite everybody in the comments to ask
So
your
yes, yeah, your question, I'll just complete that. So that's what happened with me. I closed my center, and then I joined Awaken India movement, which is the biggest movement in India against the malpractices of the COVID pandemic. I got into another movement called the Partyless India movement, which exposes the entire democracy system across the world. This 51% majority vote is a system designed to be corrupted, because you just need that much of money to buy 2% of the vote and make a yes a no, or a no a yes. Indian constitutions clearly specifies two-thirds majority vote, which is 66.66, and that's there in many constitutions across the globe. That system you can't corrupt so easily.
interesting.
Okay. So this is all what I got into. I got into understanding universal law and all of that. So I rather, I said I will run my wellness center in a free environment where the right kind of rule of law operates and people are not scared to death with all of this nonsense that's happening.
Yeah.
So I sacrificed that and I'm doing all of this now and look forward when when we get on the right track and we correct all these, wrong policies. And then in a free, open and healthy world, I would like to, start my center again.
Yes. Well, you're doing so much online and you're reaching people internationally, and that's really important. So,
Yes, because yeah, we're all in this together. We're all at the same phase. If all of the experts and scientists on health would just be bothered about their own center and keeping that to survive, then they wouldn't have been part of our committees. They wouldn't have been researching. I'm with some teams across the world as well. I wouldn't have time for that if So yes, so some of us have made those decisions. We have chosen to connect and fix the system problems, and so that the whole world, our countries and all our states can have a better future.
yeah, yes, absolutely. And I
So
have to
right now
ask
I just
you,
operate out of my home in yeah, and sometimes I have patients who are here in Goa who come to see me. Otherwise, every weekend now I do a 3 hour health program. In fact, this Sunday I am teaching the entire science of acupressure. That thing that saved my life. I am
Mhm.
teaching it this Sunday for India time, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. through Zoom. Yes, it's completely possible to learn an entire in 4,000-year ancient system within 3 hours flat. Okay,
Wow.
you don't need
Okay.
a 1 month course and all for that. Yeah. So if anybody is interested, you go to my website, darryldesouza.com. You will find it in latest news. Okay, anybody can attend it. So I'm doing this every weekend, disease reversal programs. Last week, I did a program on how to reverse arthritis, osteoporosis, neck pain, back pain, scoliosis, spinal cyst, joint pain, knee pains with integrative natural medicine and therapies.
Mm.
So every Sunday is dedicated to work on health. The rest of the days, it's activism and saving, the land, the water, all of that. And yeah, I do it also to set a good example and inspire other people here and in other states that these are the things worth fighting for right now. If you are a warrior, these are the things worth fighting for.
Yes, I know we have a lot of warriors here and warriors and leaders in this community. So that's perfect. And so, Daryl, what would you recommend are the, one or two most important things that we can each do today or this week, that we can each take action on right away from wherever we might be in the world?
Yes, because everybody in the world now is pretty aware of what's going on, the different forces that are acting. And one thing our video will give a very clear understanding to everybody that every day that you live in the city, it's not only toxic, but it's destroying the entire planet. So, moving from that system to your earlier home, your ancestral place where your ancestors were, that was something very good. Or going into a, greenfield eco village kind of project, that's amazing. And as you're doing that on the way, that one day audit, is important. That's what everybody can do, and that's smart way of winning this war. And it is that whether you're in a city or whether you're in a village or in three questions of everything that you consume. Okay, because this entire, you see, how did pharma mafia happen? Because we bought the money, we gave them we bought the medicine, we gave them the money. How did petrol mafia happen? We participated. How did banking mafia happen? We participated. Everything has happened through our participation. And if I can be smart enough and say, hey, this toothbrush, right? Is it good? Is it plastic? Can I get a bamboo wooden toothbrush with corn bristles or something? Then I'm out of that entire loop that digs holes in the earth, takes out crude oil, makes plastic, non-renewable resources gone forever, pollution and whatnot by all of those machines. You take out your karma from that entire system by just changing your toothbrush. Now you look at a mirror in the wall. Has it been made locally? Is it, of course, you need glass and all of that, but at least has it been made locally? Is it a mirror that will last 100 years? Is it in a cast iron frame, or is it in a plastic frame that's going to crumble in the next 25 years? Right? My health faucet, my toothpaste, my fridge or my chairs, everything, the kind of car I drive, is it necessary, to drive that kind of car? Can I reduce my road miles by, changing something, my job or my priorities in life? And also my job. So that's what I did in 2010, where I signed out of the control matrix in Mumbai city. Right now, on top of my house, there are those 4G antennas and all of that in the same building. And I did this in 2010. I took out my time, energy, and everything from that toxic system. And I came to my ancestral place here. This walls that you can see behind, this house is 200 years old. Okay, it beats any steel and concrete construction in the world.
Mhm.
So that's what we can do. The first question is that, is it good for my health or bad for my health? Second, is it good for the environment or bad for the environment? And third is, every time I buy and use this, where is the money going? Okay. Once you watch our video, you will understand that the best design on the planet is for every state to be self-sufficient, and also every country to be self-sufficient. There's a high degree of self-sufficiency a country can go into, 80, 85, 90, 95%. Maybe India still will have to buy fighter jets from Boeing, from France and all of that. Those are few things, science and tech. But when we become locally self-sufficient, there's so much less of food miles and all this travel and pollution across the globe. So that's the third important point. Where is the money going? So try to buy more local. Yeah, if you buy local, your local abundance will happen. If we buy local, our local abundance will happen. We don't need to buy your stuff from across the globe and cause all the damage to the planet. Either you need to buy things from here. And the last thing I want to say is, in this video, you will see a very deep science, a statement that says all sciences are local. All sciences are local, meaning that the kind of house that you build in your space, if you do it naturally, it's according to the stones and the mud and all that you get there. The kind of food that you grow is according to your land and your environment. The kind of natural medicine system is also local. The kind of houses that you will build are local. And this entire making new earth and this open school of learning that we are trying to give out to our children, that entire system is local, right? So that's how that entire. So we are creating communities by first making a team of knowledge complete people. That knowledge complete people go and make the community. And in one of our initial audits, before trying to do our eco village in Goa, we had a nice round table and it went on for 2 hours. And after that, it turned out that, hey, to make this entire amazing future and life that's better for health and better for the planet, we don't need internet. We don't need computers because all the knowledge is here. And only one reason it came up for, can we have a satellite connection at least? It came out because my grandmother, my relatives, they are in USA. Can we have at least a, video call with them? And that was the only valid reason that came out for
Uh,
having computers and internet. Okay, so this is the last thing in our video. You will understand that look at the bottom line. What is the bottom line that I want? I can is it worthwhile using internet and computers, so much of it, or can I get it in a better way that's healthier for me and the environment and a much more enjoyable experience in life? You know, so you will see that it will steer you away from a mechanized, a robotic life and way of thinking and a destructive life to a very natural, organic, more community based, more interactive, healthy way of living.
yeah. Yeah, and there's so many ways I think we feel enslaved to the computers, right? Or enslaved to all the different forms of technology. So, I mean, this is huge. It's just a complete perspective shift into what do we really want? What do we really need? It can be so much simpler. And then, yeah, like you said, it makes more room for singing and being on the land and dancing and having, community festivals. I saw that on one of your slides. I mean, how amazing. That's what we really want. in our lives. So it's really beautiful what you're sharing here.
Yeah, and even our children nowadays, they're being so much because of this internet, so much information is going into them from all over the world, which they don't actually need to have a complete, amazing life.
Sure.
And those experiences in different countries, what happens there, how people live and all, that should be left for our travel, right? When we travel, then we can have those amazing, experiences. Okay, this is the kind of your food, this is the kind of your garments, this is, what your arts and culture that you all practice there. That I think should be the amazing surprises that we should get when we take a time for vacation and go out of our communities and to other communities.
Yes. Yes. Wow. Thank you for this vision, Daryl. And thank you for all that you're doing to already make it a reality. I really invite everybody to go and watch the video. That's Daryl's free gift. I've put it in the chat here on Zoom a couple times. I put it in the chat on YouTube. And if you're watching this as a replay, just scroll down a little bit below the video and you'll see the link to that video that Daryl is providing for his free gift. Yeah, I can't thank you enough. This is truly amazing. This is where we need to go in the world. And I'm so grateful to you for creating so many projects that are really making this happen.
Yes, thank you to Jocelyn. And just a warning for, in the video, actually, I did that video 3 nights in a row, okay, from 11 p.m. at night to 4:30 in the morning. So I was kind of little drowsy, drooping, but it's my voiceover. So at some places, I'm, sounding a little sleepy. So please forgive me for that. The next one we'll do in a proper, studio that's soundproof and all of that. I had to do it at night because in the daytime, there's a road outside my house and some, feedback noise was coming. So I had this bright idea, I'm going to do it 3 nights in a row after working the full day. So
Wow.
anyway, you
Dedication.
you will see some of that. So please forgive me and do give some good feedback so that we can really improve the video. Okay, it's a project for everybody across the world to participate in, and I hope y'all do.
Yes, wonderful. I'm putting the link in the chat one more time because Amy was saying she didn't see it. I just put it in the chat again there, Amy.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
wonderful.
finally, I just want to say whatever you get from it, it's all implementable at your place. You don't even need to be part of any organization or do this and that. If you would like to, definitely connect with us on our platform. But this is all free, open source, the best ideas that we could give. And we also hope that you will return us with some of your amazing ideas.
Yes, fantastic. I encourage everybody to do that and definitely get connected in with Daryl's network and the community that's coming together around all of this, because together we are even more powerful. We're so powerful each on our own, but together we can do even more. So beautiful. Thank you again, Daryl. It's always such a pleasure to speak with you, and I feel my mind and my heart are expanded from this conversation. So thank you. And
Thank you
let's
to Jocelyn, and thank you everyone for joining us today. God bless, and let's all look to amazing, bright, collaborative, loving future.
Yes, yes. Aho, absolutely. Thank you again, Daryl. Have a wonderful day. And
Thank you. Wishing you the same, Jocelyn. Bye.
thank you so much. Yeah, and all blessings to your work and to everything that you're working on, truly.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And everybody watching, I hope you've really enjoyed this interview with Daryl. Hope you've received so much from it. I know that I certainly have. And I invite all of you to come back and join again in just about 20 minutes. We have Pam Montgomery coming on, and she's amazing. And she's going to be speaking about returning to our original blueprint of brilliance. So that should be wonderful as well. All right. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you again, Daryl. Hope you all have a beautiful day and see you again soon.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Jocelyn.